I would like to welcome the speaker on the topic, Least Known Most Global Principle of Peace and Pluralism, Said Nursi's Concept of Positive Action, Director Amir Yildiz.
Thank you and good afternoon. Risale-i Nur, the most important Quranic commentary in Republican Turkey, reconstructed Islamic thought by synthesizing the miscellaneous Islamic traditions of thought so as to serve as the challenge of materialism emanating from the positivistic conception of science and society, and preached a new way of living Islam as the epitomization of insaniyeti kubra, the greatest humanity. It posits its method of service to Islam as positive action, which means the patient and silent struggle to save and strengthen the essentials of Islamic belief by peaceful means, non-involvement in politics, and prioritizing the religious zeal and endeavor based on the principle of sincerity and brotherhood. These are the result-oriented course of action. The unique function of the Risale-i Nur in the renewal of belief and revitalization of Islam inspired and compelled this method owing to the objective constraints imposed upon Muslim societies, and to some extent the whole world through global modernization process fashioned after what is known as Western. This communicative approach delegitimizes and in some cases de-emphasizes the material power-driven attempts to serve Islam, which espouse result-oriented, violent or political methods. The communicative and affirmative nature of positive action is justified by many verses of the Quran and traditions of the Prophet, which Muslim mentions in various occasions. Said Nursi's renowned concept of positive action is a multifaceted concept not amenable to handle within a scope of a short presentation. This simple but complex concept will be treated here through a brief description of essential components with particular emphasis to the form of opposition it prescribes against oppression, from the perspective of attaining basic rights and liberties under non-Islamic regimes. The user defines the essential components of the positive action as follows. Positive action requires Muslims in their utterances and deeds to act solely in accordance with the consent of Allah, to engage in the faith service only, and to content oneself with it. Not to interfere with the divine determination and hence positing himself as a pseudo-God, the best engineer of what has happened or created. To never violate public order and security, which may generate the violation of rights of other human beings, be it Muslim or non-Muslim, and other creatures. And finally, to keep the state of steadfastness and gratitude to Allah in every instance of life. Avoidance from violence and politicization based on political partiality, i.e. positionally determined biased behaviors. Not to forge a one-to-one correspondence between religion and political affiliation, because this means to equate the realm of Nazariyat with the realm of Zaruriyat. Delicately declining from politicizing Islam through presenting the cloud of politics together with the light, i.e. the spiritual jihad, and hence not to decrease the impact of conveyance of Islam, tabligh, directed towards the people of Dawat. Resorting to prayer both in words and deeds instead of prioritizing the results of the human acts. Adopting the principle of best stratagem is to be without stratagem, as its motto. Embracing the understanding of spiritual jihad, refraining from all sorts of behaviors and attitudes that may yield to oppression, cruelty, and the violation of the rights of others. Individuals and religious groups must entertain the love of their schools and ways only, and abstain from description of their identity through deficiencies and mistakes of others. Keeping the respect for the truth above everything. Last but not least, the positive action is an individual, social, and non-political way of behavior based on the pillars of enthusiasm, patience, gratitude, sincerity, and brotherhood. Politics of non-politics based on non-violence assumes the following. Preemption and prevention of Islam being politicized along the lines of political spectrum is something that Said Nursi avoids most. It prescribes the principle that the best stratagem is to be without stratagem. It attaches utmost importance to openness, transparency, and trustworthiness. The actors of positive action do not involve non-Muslims because positive action is thoroughly characterized by the Quranic injunctions as interpreted by Said Nursi in the context of the challenge of despotic secularist modernist governments prevailing in the Muslim world throughout the 20th century. I use the term peaceful in characterizing Nursi's method of opposition, disobedience against the despotic rule of modernist secularists or secular governments because I contend that it differs from the term civil in its grasp of the use of coercion through violent or non-violent means, as well as in its definition of goals. Positive action involves non-acceptance, non-practice, non-participation, and non-cooperation of or with the unjust and oppressive rule imposed upon Muslim believers by the despotic rulers. In this sense, it can be said that it is the Muslim variant of passive resistance, devoid of any political means and goals. However, although it is ostensibly passive, it is proved to be the most active strategy of disobedience in the long run, however, as seen in the present-day Turkey. It excludes conclusively the following. Involvement in politics under Islamic banners, civil disobedience is political by nature. The use of violence in opposition to despotic rules prevailing in the Muslim world. Satragyaha-based understanding of civil disobedience categorically rejects the use of violence in any case of socio-political life, attesting actual existence to causality and behaving as such. Said Nursi treats political parties independent of their positions, be it governmental or oppositional, and sees them as organized forms of political struggle due to the fact that the target group of the faith movement covers adherents of all political parties except for aggressive atheists. He categorically rejects the physical jihad in Dar al-Islam against other Muslims, however indifferent to Islam they might be. Instead, it treats the spiritual jihad with words, especially written words and deeds instead of coercive means. Unlike from Satragyaha-based understanding of civil disobedience, however, the positive action doesn't reject the use of violence against aggression, addressing the Muslim society from outside, a kind of self-defense, and attaches a thoroughly legitimate place to material jihad as a form of legitimate self-defense. A note of caution by Said Nursi, however, limits the material jihad only to the aggressive non-Muslims. Otherwise, the basic form of relation between Muslims and civilized non-Muslims is persuasion and dialogue, not coercion. Thus, the peace between Muslims requires conveyance and exclusion of material force and violence, and it requires the communalization of common points, and refraining from what deviates Muslims from one another. Thus, to unite among or around what is called zaruriyat, not nazariyat. This is relevant not only for the Orthodox sects of Islam, but heterodox sects as well. Coming to the peace between Muslims and non-Muslims, positive action is again the key to this peace because it just makes distinction between the sins of aggressors and non-aggressors. So if someone commits sins and if this is not an aggression to the rights of other Muslims, then it will be held responsible in the hereafter, not the world. There is no authority to impose any sanction upon these people, be it Muslim or non-Muslim. Thus, against the political stance of Kemalist regime that ruined the society indications of Islam, denied the recognition of basic rights and liberties in de facto terms, imposed irreligion to the polity as a state policy, and arbitrarily imprisoned and kept in exile Said Nursi and his followers for a period of 28 years, Bediüzzaman insistently avoided from any violent form of opposition against the one-party rule, didn't show any interest in daily politics, and carefully protected himself against the liberative provocations of the regime. His method of opposition to all this was positive action, strategically structured by positive activism and centered on the active service of belief. The positive action approach considers to think a boat in which there are 9 murderers and 1 innocent people as a non-just, cruel act, and places the right to life into the matrix of the absolute justice. Before justice, the right of one is equal to 1,000. There can be no difference. Right is right. It cannot be differentiated in accordance with its size. This understanding delimits the implementation of the principle of absolute necessity in the suspension of fundamental human rights. All basic rights and liberties are among the points addressed by Said Nursi in his court defenses and letters to his followers. The 6 questions from his book called Letters, Mektubat, is a manifesto of this position. Bediüzzaman kept to be patient against continuous exiles and persecutions and dwelt upon his proactive agenda instead of a reactive posture vis-à-vis deliberate provocations by deep elements within the government. This is a sort of lighting a candle instead of swearing at darkness. That's why, for example, he criticized the notorious Sheikh Said incident of 1925 and declined to curse the public prosecutor that insistently leveled unsubstantiated claims against him in the Afyon trial when he saw him walking together with his small girl, a crystal clear case of his immense compassion and sensitivity on avoiding committing injustices against the innocent. Thus, thanks to his approach of positive action, Bediüzzaman preserved the legality and legitimacy of his ground and was able to make great service to the spiritual life of Turkish people and now the whole humanity. When you look at retrospectively to those days, you may readily appreciate the arbitrary and oppressive character of treatment inflicted upon him. Bediüzzaman's positive action is centered upon the notion of sincerity, ikhlas, and preached to the religious communities and associations as well as individuals to describe themselves through their principles and acts and being motivated by the love of their observances and methods instead of using the mistakes and insufficiencies of others as a pretext for their course of action. This is the first most important condition to preserve sincerity. In his last lesson he delivered to his students, Bediüzzaman's main emphasis is to act in accordance with the principle of positive action. The interpretation of jihad as spiritual both among Muslims and between Muslims and non-Muslims, with the exception of self-defense against non-Muslim aggressors, and the representation of Islam through the best means of best contest based on persuasive argumentation comprise the moral ground of the positive action. As a natural corollary of this, drawing upon the privacy of crimes and punishments, all sorts of acts that may lead to the violation of others' rights and public order are considered to be in conflict with the principle of positive action. The concept of positive action recommends that in their all acts and deeds, Muslim believers must be orientated with goodwill and endeavor, not to stick to the results thereof. This is sort of the journey of an ant who intended to visit the Holy Kaaba. What is important is not arriving in Kaaba, but heading towards it. The duty of man, therefore, is to be in constant endeavor for attaining the consent and endowment of Allah in his lifetime within the confine of his power boundaries. The end result is up to the determination of Allah Almighty. Muslims must avoid a kind of fetishism of being result-bounded instead of being effort-oriented, a kind of prayer in the facto sense. This would secure the inner world of Muslims and turn them into Selim, sound and safe people, feeling secure and being trustworthy. That is declared to us that I belong to the movement of faith. Before me there is the movement of unbelief. I have no relation with any other movements. Accordingly, freedom before man, or against before man, vis-a-vis man, leads to slavery before Allah. In other words, those who have become slaves before Allah cannot be the slave to people, because human beings have become free, but they are still the slaves of Allah, i.e. Abdullah. I will skip some parts and come to the conclusion. Okay. Unlike many groups and individuals who mistakenly aim to further the cause of Islam by negative means, the Nur students follow the positive method. Thanks to this, the one-party operation couldn't precisely and prevent his risales to be written by hand and later to be printed. Its provocations were first to be futile, and the Nur students continued their faith service in private. It got publicized to a certain extent after the transition to multi-party politics in Turkey in 1946. The Democrat government took a lenient attitude toward them, permitting the open publication of the Risale-i Nur after it had been cleared by the Afyon Court in 1956, and not attempting to repress the movement. The method of the Nur movement and the Risale-i Nur was what scientists called non-material jihad, as I said before. His point of departure is to build a spiritual barrier against spiritual devastation and securing the public security as an end product. The power we hold may be used only for that purpose, because both crime and punishment are not corporate but personal. Therefore, due to the crimes, sins, or mistakes committed by someone, the people related to him cannot be held responsible. The material power may be used outside the Muslim realm and against foreign aggression and attacks. The Muslim believers are not obliged with securing the domination of Islamic teachings all around the world, but commissioned with the conveyance of the divine message in best manner. Muslims can respond to the foreign aggressors with material power because all the holdings of the aggressors, including their women and children, are related to them, while the relatives of the sinful Muslims are related to the Muslim community thanks to the Islamic faith, and hence cannot be the subject of booty. This difference between jihad inside, i.e. the Muslim world, and jihad outside, i.e. against aggressor non-Muslims, in other words, spiritual and material jihad, is basic to the conception of positive action. Since the problem is defined to be spiritual, the solution too has to be spiritual. Politics may assume importance to the extent it relates to the betterment of the faith service. Any action that may lead to the dispersion of injustices is deemed inappropriate, even if this is rising against injustice. Let me repeat this again. Any action that may lead to the dispersion of injustices is deemed inappropriate, even if this is rising against injustices. The answer to the oppression is just patience. Protection of peace and tranquility, and thus public order, is a sine qua non of the principle of the positive action. Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.